Hello Pisces, my name is Tiffany from Tiffany's Tarology and it's so good to be here with all of you. Before starting this reading today, I used my clear quartz to ground and to clear my energy, which I don't usually do. But I felt a call to do so. And anytime that I feel a call to do something, I always let you know because we are divine mirrors of each other. And this is a piece of clear quartz I usually always keep on the desk during our readings for clearing and grounding. So it might be significant for you to go through a grounding exercise, a clearing exercise to get your energy back on track, Pisces. All right, so last night, my daughter and I had a little mommy-daughter date, and we went to, things falling apart, we went to this little light show that was Alice in Wonderland themed, and I really wanted to know what was the significance of that outing, what was the spiritual undertone, and I found out that it was about not knowing which way to go, feeling conflicted, do you go left, do you go right, and divine timing being at play. Especially with the rabbit that says, I'm late for a very important date. There's something about timing, there's something about, I'm assuming, things falling apart. You are going through some sort of awakening right now, Pisces, and you have a decision on the horizon that you need to make. And I'm going to pull these cards for you from one of my favorite decks, which is Embracing Fate. And we're going to see what exactly that is, that decision, or if we can get clarity on it. I always link the decks in the description box, Pisces, if you're interested. Along with the ability to book with me. There's links for that as well. Let's tap in. You have moving on, healing, career shift. Some things take time. Masculine energy clarified by teacher. Clarity clarified by gaslighting. Ice Queen clarified by time to celebrate. Twin flame journey, affair. And we have karmic cycle clarified by soul mission. Now, I don't usually clarify the cards here, but I felt like, okay, there's a deeper layer to some of these cards that I wanted to dive into, and Spirit will often have me pull cards and things like that as time goes on, but I specifically felt the need to clarify the masculine energy, the karmic cycle, the Ice Queen, and clarity, so I did. On the bottom of your deck, you have eyes, mesmerized, and make a choice. I think you're at a point, Pisces, right now with this divine timing that we're going to keep in mind. And remember how we said not knowing which choice to make. That was very relevant for the Alice in Wonderland theme that I experienced last night. There's something going on in your life where you see the truth. You have clarity. Your third eye is open. And I think there was someone or something in your life. From the looks of this, it could have been a home situation, it could have been a career, it could have been a masculine energy, it could have been a relationship that you were in. Whatever the case is, you no longer are fogged and clouded. You actually are being given the opportunity to make a choice because you see truth. And just like that, I got distracted. A phone call came through that I had to pick up. Hopefully it doesn't look like the cards have moved too much, but there could be things that are just distracting you right now, Pisces, from making healthy decisions. Because as you can see, she's an apple and a cupcake. Not saying you can't have a cupcake and treat yourself at all, okay? But the depiction here is telling us that sometimes we have to choose the healthier thing. Sometimes in life we can be persuaded to choose things that bring us pleasure, that bring us earthly satisfaction and joy, but maybe they have lasting consequences. And so I think you have a couple of things going on. You are potentially in the midst of a move in the midst of a career shift, walking away from either toxic masculinity in a career, or a toxic masculine. Could be a relationship. Doesn't have to be a man. There could be a woman, for those of you who are masculine, who is in a toxic masculine energy. But starting off here with the moving on, it says relocation, closure, and goodbye. I think you've been having a hard time making a choice as to maybe where to go, when to go, how to say goodbye to someone, and how to move on from, again, a place of comfort. I'm seeing a hardcore energy of comfort zone energy. I do see you really feeling good though, once you do take the steps, because as you can see, like, her hair is flowing. She's got a little smile on her face, no teeth showing, but she's just like, she understands that this is what she needs to do. So I think that you are coming to a place, Pisces, where you understand, okay, this old situation, this old house, this old home, this old life I lived and the way things were, there is an ending that is coming here. And I have to do this, whether you're physically moving, whether you're saying goodbye to someone, moving on from a relationship, letting go of a career, you're doing it all in the name of healing. You're taking your power back, and it's a more gentle approach. It's a more Empress energy-like approach, where you're actually leaning in on your inner healing and self-care. There's a lot of wounds around the way that you were making choices before, where maybe you were clouding your judgment, where you weren't trusting yourself, where you allowed yourself to be manipulated. Again, maybe when it came down to your health, some of you could have been in situations where you didn't know if you wanted the apple or the cupcake. And maybe you're on like a weight loss journey, or you're thinking about improving your health in some way, or you've dealt with some health issues, and Spirit says the way to pour into the physical body is also to feed the spiritual body. And I think that is an area of your life where you need to pick a new direction. What serves your soul, Pisces? What gives you more light and freedom? I see you slowing down, especially if you've been in a career where there was a hard grind. This particular depiction shows a bear with an axe, and this is hard work. It says work, change, and calling. And I see this bear looking out into the mountains, and oftentimes we look to the hills, I have chills as I say that, like, we look to the hills from whence cometh our help. And there is this energy that you are understanding needs to take place in your life, where if you've been in a laborious career, a backbreaking career, living your life without true purpose and fulfillment, there is also a time that this is shifting. So you are going through massive awakenings right now, Pisces, in your love life, in your family life, in your home life, in your career, because something about you at a cellular level, at a soul level, is activating, is changing. And the old things, the old people, the old life, as we have all kind of heard over and over again, they cannot come with you. Oftentimes when you elevate that vibration that you have within you, the things of your old life that you once like turned a blind eye to, or you could just deal with, or maybe you could just show up to this monotonous work, you just can't anymore. And I see a lot of you shifting into a more purpose-filled life, and also walking into a life of more ease and abundance rather than hard work and that paycheck to paycheck grind mentality. It doesn't mean that you're not going to work hard, but I think it's going to be working hard in a different way. More of like focusing on like CEO energy, purpose-filled energy, waking up every day feeling excited to do what you do rather than dreading the things that you do. And I think you're also learning to give yourself grace and give yourself time. Divine timing, again with the Alice in Wonderland theme. We can often get caught up in a world where we feel like time is working against us. Time is an illusion, honestly. And it's a man-made construct, and you go to different places on the same earth plane, and it's different times and all that, right? So understand that as you go through this transition, Pisces, there is going to be a profound shift in your life, a profound shift in your space, a profound shift in the way that you receive love, give yourself love, the way that you heal, the way that you work. But give it the time it needs to really work in your benefit. Springtime could be very significant for you, and there's this bloom energy. As far as the masculine energy, you could also be in a position where you've learned that a certain masculine figure in your life, their shadow was unavoidable. This could have been more than one masculine energy. And for some of you, I'm feeling also the masculine energy of the way that you worked, the way that you lived your home life as well. You could have been you could have been a feminine and a very masculine energy in your own home, I'm hearing. You could have been in a job that made you work that 9 to 5 grind corporate energy. Some of you were teachers and maybe you're learning how to teach in a different way. But the lesson around that masculine energy and maybe the denser aspects of it, because masculines are not bad. I don't want you to think that, but a certain type of toxic masculinity could have been permeating your life and your soul. And Spirit says now is the time to take that power back and regroup and do something new. So you have clarity on where you were being manipulated, controlled, gaslit. You could have been dealing with narcissistic people. You could have been dealing with just manipulators, covert narcissists, overt narcissists, people who made you feel bad about being you and doing you and maybe the choices that you're making. But I see you breaking free, Pisces, of that judgment. She's hanging free like the hanged man here. And it says change of perspective. You're seeing life so differently. You're not going to be gaslit into doing things the old way. You're not going to be gaslit into a partnership that isn't healthy for you, or a living situation that doesn't serve you, or a career that keeps you bound. You're moving on. And I think in the process of moving on, I wasn't sure if this was your energy or someone else's energy, but the Ice Queen, I thought it was maybe about you setting boundaries, but when I clarified it and got time to celebrate, you also are realizing who doesn't celebrate with you. You have a lot of haters. You have a lot of people who see your light, the celebration, the successes that you have, and they don't actually mean well. They could be people of considerable power in your life. They could be air signs in your life. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energies, whether sun, moon, or rising. These could be people that hold some sort of authority, like a doctor, lawyer, a boss figure, manager, an accountant. I'm even seeing like a sibling for whatever reason in this particular card. It could even be a partner though. I have been seeing more energy come up lately, even on other readers' YouTubes, about partners who are jealous of the light that you have. And you can be intimidating, Pisces, for just being you. And I think you're also understanding that you need to move on from these types of people and you need to find community. You need to, move away from these twin flame energies where you're constantly being mirrored. It's not always bad to be in a twin flame, but I feel like at times it can become toxic. You've learned a karmic cycle with somebody that you were definitely mirroring, and they were showing you aspects of you that, you needed to heal, and you were showing them aspects where they needed to heal. And then I think at some point you started realizing, okay, I'm ascending, I'm moving forward, and you're just reflecting right back to you, your own self. I see you being a divine mirror to this person or to this situation. You're only willing to give as much as they're willing to give, and you're only willing to take as much as they're willing to take. And for a whole lot of you, it hasn't been like that. It's been very distorted, where you were giving and giving and they were taking and taking. And now, Pisces, there's a switch. You have flipped a switch. You don't do that anymore. For people who were dealing with affairs, sneaking around, secret love, making plans behind your back, gossip could be significant. I also see you being made aware of these situations. And again, the gaslighting, the manipulation. You are saying goodbye to these situations with a smile on your face, because you understand life goes on. And if you don't want to appreciate me, if you don't want to love me, if you don't want to treat me right, if you don't want to compensate me for my time, if you don't want to have equal give and take in a relationship, if you don't want to be there for me like I'm there for you, then, this cycle is over. So Pisces, a lot of taking your power back, but in a way that feels very sacred, that feels very healing, that feels very purposeful. And I see here with the karmic cycle where it says repetition, soul lesson, and closure combined with this soul mission that says purpose, faith, and awakening, you have realized, oh, this is me cutting away the karmic patterns. This is me on my soul mission. This is me understanding, oh, okay, I went through this because I signed a soul contract before I came to Earth to learn these lessons, and they're difficult. And I'm not trying to diminish anything that you're going through, Pisces, but these were lessons that your soul has repeated several times in several different ways. And I feel like for many of you in this lifetime, you're seeing that same lesson in several different people all at the same time. Or like, let's just use this as an example. Maybe at the same time that you were having a home situation that was going wrong, you were also having a work situation that was going wrong. And then you were having a health situation that was going wrong, right? And all of those are because of poor choices. And so Spirit is saying, can you make better choices, Pisces? Can you be more aware? And I see you now awakening to the truth, seeing the bright side of things in the midst of the darkness and healing from this. And also walking away from being treated crummy. Like I just see many of you were not treated well. And as I split the deck, it says, luck is on your side and good news is coming, and there's a rainbow energy here. And so there's a renewal that wants to come into your life, Pisces, as a result of hard work paying off. So as you move into this new space, I just want to commend you on really internalizing, alchemizing, moving forward, recognizing the people in your life that have not been meaning you well, especially those that have been jealous of you and standing right beside you like everything's just fine. Spirit is making you aware, disclosing information. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, and it's going to kind of finish out its cycle in Pisces, and a lot of illusions being pulled back, and you're seeing things as they should be. You're seeing truth of people, situations, and Neptune rules Pisces. So we can often live in a very dreamy like state where we don't see things like other people do. And it makes us really cool, but it also can make us a bit naive, whimsical, childlike. So there's like good and bad. But I think right now Spirit is trying to like shine the light on the situations that you need to confront and allowing you this opportunity and this time to renegotiate, retrace your steps, plan out a new path, and again, move on. So this is a decision about, are you moving on? Are you moving forward? Are you letting go of someone? Are you creating a new boundary, new rules? So Spirit guides, current situation for Pisces as they work to move on. The Tower. So something unavoidable happened recently, Pisces. Something that shook the foundation of your life. Sometimes we get startled awake by unfortunate circumstances that turn out to be the absolute best thing that ever happened to us. And that's what I really feel here. It's forcing you to work on yourself. So I'm definitely getting the vibe of like, maybe you had a health scare. And ever since then, the Eight of Pentacles is saying you've been watering your sunflowers now. You've been paying more attention to your health. You've been eating better. Maybe you had a shakeup in a relationship, and ever since then, you have been tending to yourself or tending to the relationship. Maybe something happened at work where you lost your money or you realized, I can't work here anymore. Or something blew up in your face like a job loss. Now you have been learning to rebuild and maybe working on your own side business. So something about this Tower, this unexpected, sudden transit, it was meant to happen, Pisces, to shake you up from the foundation that you're in and help you to recover, to revive yourself, to renew, and to move on from something that was holding you back. I think for many of you, that comfort zone energy that I feel in the moving on card, it kept you from moving on. So Spirit said, well, I've got to shake this up then. I've got to show Pisces what's really happening underneath the surface. Because again, with this Four of Pentacles, you were holding on to that comfort zone. You weren't moving on. You weren't paying attention to the red flags. You weren't saying goodbye to the job. You weren't saying hello to a new life. You were continuing to push that masculine energy when you really wanted to be in your feminine, or dealing with a dark masculine when you wanted a divine masculine, you know? So you had to have this shakeup. What's the challenge at this time to this Tower? The King of Swords. I think truly just the truth. Seeing the truth, understanding the truth, having to come face to face with the truth. Difficult conversations could be challenging at this time, or the lack of clarity that could have that you could have become aware of. Again, with that affair energy, with that masculine energy being kind of dark, repetitive karmic lessons. I feel like the challenge has been to like speak your truth, state your claim, see through the darkness of the situations around you and actually stand up for yourself and say enough is enough. With this like eagle energy here, there is a lot of wisdom. You could also have Native American ancestry. There is something about getting back to your roots, healing karmic wounds, and standing up for what you believe in. This situation challenged you in the best ways because it forced you to rely upon your inner strength. Strength at this time for Pisces. Ooh, we got a couple cards there. We got the Two of Swords, the Ace of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles. So, again, with our theme of decision making, you for so long have been very apt and able to make decisions, Pisces, but you were keeping the blindfold on and not understanding that, no, you have the strength, you have the ability, you even have the backup of your team to shoot for whatever goal you want, and it will come to pass. Knight of Pentacles shows this beautiful energy of someone who is just absolutely driven, focused, moving forward in a way that just makes sense. But for too long, Pisces, you were not giving yourself this new beginning, this emotional freedom. As soon as you make that opportunity known, like this is what I want, I'm going to set my sights on a goal that I desire, you're going to hit the bullseye. It may take you a little bit of time to actually make it happen, which the Knight of Pentacles shows he's looking at a map. He's sorting things out. He is ready for the trek forward. And I see a lot of determination. Again, I see you moving on with a smile on your face, having a beautiful change in perspective and not letting things get you down. And in doing so, Pisces, you're going to clear this energy from the Ace of Cups in reverse to the Ace of Cups upright. There's going to be this opening of doors and channels and prosperity and new beginnings and love that actually feels right the second that you actually choose to shoot the bullseye with your eyes wide open and take that blindfold off. The blindfold, again, is making me think of a comfort zone of you holding things back, of feeling like you can't make a decision, enabling someone. I'm also seeing the energy of maybe sticking in a career field or doing something in a relationship because that's how you were always taught things should be. So conditioning could be very significant. You're working through that. Area of focus. You're unconditioning yourself. Two of Cups. I don't necessarily just see this being about relationships. I saw choices. This isn't the Lover's card, but the Lover's energy is really beaming through this right now. Spirit wants you to look at your relationships for sure and the reciprocal nature of them. If you're giving to them, are they giving back to you? Are we comparing apples to oranges? I see two people here sharing two shells. They're very different, but they have this energy where both are very valuable. I see both people respecting each other, looking at each other in the eye, being honest, being truthful. And so Spirit is saying you need to make sure, Pisces, that you're looking your relationships dead in the eye. These go for your coworkers, your family members, your relationships, your children. These go for those friends or those supposed friends. And even, the people you got to work with, like your coworkers and things like that. I see there's a need for you, with this being in your area of focus, to really begin to pay more attention to who is receiving my energy and am I receiving back an equal share. Relationship dynamics are on the hot plate right now in all of my readings lately, Pisces. So I know you're going through some restructuring and finding balance again. Justice is here. I think our reading from 2 days ago was on compromise and working with others, finding that common path, that thread of consciousness where I'll scratch yours if you scratch mine, but I'm not doing it because I just want you to scratch mine. I'm doing it because I want to be helpful and reciprocal. Yeah, you've been dealing, Knight of Wands popped out with a lot of people who are hot and cold, maybe being ghosted by people, getting the short end of the stick. Seven of Swords, people who hide behind a mask, who don't show you who they really are, who make you believe, gaslight, that you're the problem when they're the problem. Near future. Six of Wands, respect, healing, nurturing, and I really believe you're going to stand out. There's something that's happening where you're being shaken out of this situation, like shaken awake. And realizing this is the time for me to really shine. This is the time to pour into my self-image. This is the time to pour into my soul work. This is the time for me to really pay attention to my mission. And I really do feel the energy of respect. There's going to be a lot of eyes on you, Pisces. A glow up energy is coming into your energy. The Tower here was something that was supposed to shake you awake. You can even see the dichotomy of how dark the first card is to the brightness of the second card. You were in such a lower vibrational energy when around the wrong people. The right people are going to love and appreciate and honor you. And I see a lot of people looking at you with this awe and this wonder because you're completely reinventing yourself. Recent past, a lot of energy. The Sun to the High Priestess, lies, alibis, stories, untruths, white lies, half-truths, all of those things are coming through. Illumination through your psychic awareness, through your High Priestess energy, whether male or female, High Priest, High Priestess. I see you ringing the alarm to those who have wronged you, those who have been hating on you. I see you also telling people, I'm not who you think I am. Or you're keeping things to yourself, but you know the truth. I just see there's a lot of clarity that you have come upon. And remember that card we got at the very beginning that was on the bottom of the deck was the eye. Your eyes wide open. You see the truth of situations now, Pisces. Recent past, things became blaringly obvious to you. And now I see you communicating, Eight of Wands, with others about, okay, well, I saw the truth. I heard that movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, or is that a movie? I Know What You Did Last Summer? Something like that could be significant. Halloween could also be very significant. Maybe something supernatural that happens, or just some enlightening contact with ancestors is possible. But I do believe recent past, Pisces, you became very aware of where people were holding you back. And you've been laying low for a little while with the Two of Wands and the Four of Swords, trying to find a new path and kind of, keeping things to yourself, praying about it, not saying a whole lot. And coming to the realization that there's got to be a change or a shift here. I know too much. I've seen too much and I can't go back. Advice. Seven of Pentacles. Allow the lessons that are presenting themselves to take root. I know right now you have seen a lot. Your third eye is wide open with the Sun to the High Priestess. It's like whatever tried to hide, whatever tried to be behind a mask, whatever tried to be elusive or keep you in a sense of just wondering and loss. That clarity is so true. And now you have to allow yourself to rebuild and to give things time to work themselves out and understand, okay, we've got to find our way forward, whether with you or without you. And I see this being a period of time where you're just going to really have to buckle down, Pisces, and focus on you and look at your investments and who you're investing in and the time and energy that you want to put into your body to build your Ten of Pentacles. What does your future look like, in the next 5 to 10 years? Does it include these same people, these same positions? It looks like there's a glow up in your finances that wants to come through all of this, because I think now that your energy is bouncing back, you're going on this prosperous timeline. There's a prosperity timeline that's opening for you. And you were, in a way, blocked from this by the past relationships that were holding you back. What's your environment? Page of Wands. I see messages. I see clarity. I see truth and new beginnings with this card. I think that you are in the midst of probably having a lot of difficult conversations with people, but necessary conversations, messages coming into you, talking things through with people, setting the record straight, but not in a bad way. But I really do see, that Queen of Swords, Page of Wands energy is like, I'm finally here to deliver the message that I'm no longer going to be taken for granted. I am moving out. I am moving on. I'm cutting you off. I am taking my power back. I see the truth of your actions and I want something new, something that inspires me. I see some of you clearing out your desk. I also see some of you taking up old practitioner energy, like past life rooted energy in the work that you do. Shamanism could be significant, but I really do see Pisces saying, I'm actually going a new way. And you can either come with me or you can stay where you are. But the new me requires this reciprocity. The new me requires this reflection. I'm hearing this song Reflection from Mulan. And you at times were wondering who was the person that you saw. And in that she says, why is her reflection someone she doesn't know? Pisces, you became someone you didn't know. And you begin to attract a lot of people who didn't reflect back to you the healthiest parts of yourself. But now as you are beginning to be this new healed version, the person who is now on their soul mission, the person who is not repeating the karmic cycles, the lessons are learned, the person who prioritizes their healing and health and self-care above all else, that's the kind of energy you're going to actually attract now into your life. Hopes and fears. I'm seeing a big change in friend groups and community. Knight of Cups. I think you're a bit fearful when it comes to playing all of you, like putting your cards out there again, whether that's in love and in career, maybe even in a weird family dynamic of some sort. But I see this person, Knight of Cups, who's supposed to be coming with the cup of love, playing chess. So this is kind of an interesting way that they created this card. But what I see here is he's not moving one of the chess pieces. He's got a shell. And I think that you really just want people to come as they are. You want people to come to you clearly and honestly. And you are fearful of being vulnerable, but you are also ready for that kind of love to be returned to you. So Pisces, all I have to say is be the person that you desire to be. Be the person that you desire to be with. And what you put out into the world will be a divine reflection of what you receive. If you show people your cards, if you're honest with them about the love that you desire, the camaraderie, the equal give and take, if you tell them this is me knowing my worth and respecting myself, they will have to come correct. Because anything that doesn't come correct, you shouldn't be fearful of it all kind of falling apart and there being falsehoods and people playing games and, trying to one up each other with the chess pieces. The goal here is to be true, to be honest, to be loving, to be in that Piscean energy that you thrive in. You are a Pisces. And to allow that same love to come back, but have healthy boundaries and be discerning about who comes in. 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. You are building bridges that protect you from the elements, from the people who don't, protect you, who don't care for you. This is a time of rebuilding and finding strength in protecting yourself, Pisces. Potential outcome. The World. With the 6 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This is about you moving on, saying goodbye. I feel such a trickster energy in this face whenever I see this card. And focusing here on the World, Pisces, you have made a bed that is much softer, more welcoming. This old cycle, this old situation, whatever you've gone through, it's over. I see you closing the door on a chapter well lived. It maybe didn't always make you feel good. And now you're moving on, with maybe less than you started with. But you have peace of mind. You have clarity. You've made yourself a softer bed. I feel like the people that you're leaving behind, they have a hard bed that they're laying on. A lot of karma is coming in. But I think you said to yourself, with or without you, I'm going. I'm headed out. You want to come with me? You got to come correct. But I'm not afraid to go on my own. This is a new Pisces with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles who's carving out a path, whether male or female, of their own. Where their cup comes first, their health comes first. Where their pentacles comes first, their home, their vitality, their money. They are going to take care of themselves. And I see Pisces moving forward towards this 10 of Pentacles faster than ever because you finally understand that the truth of attracting abundance is being in an abundant mindset and also raising your vibration to where you can attract what you want. When you're around all these lower vibrational people who don't pour into you, who take from you, you are doomed to repeat the past. But I feel like Spirit is saying this is the time where Pisces moves on. We're going to pull 3 last cards for you, Pisces. Pisces is ready. You have to take a gamble. This isn't going to feel like easy. It's not going to feel like a soft landing. But when you take a risk on you, you are going to see that the hard work, the risky work paid off. Something about this doesn't feel set in stone. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't necessarily feel secure, but it's going to be worth it. You are walking towards a happily ever after. The happily ever after doesn't necessarily have to be about a family, but for some of you it is. This could just be you finally finding your happy place. Again, it's a door to a home. It could be the door to a new business. This could be the door to prosperity, the door to love, the door to children, the door to a single life where you are fulfilled all on your own. What makes you happy? What is your 10 of Pentacles? You're no longer allowing these fakes and these people who put on illusions to keep you down. Pisces is going after what they want. And yes, things are falling apart. There's changes, there's endings, and there's rebuilding. But it's all so that you can rebuild, Pisces. Everything must go. It's kind of like those sales that they have at retail shops when they're closing down. They still want to make that little bit of money, right? So then they have the everything must go sale and everything's marked down. I'm seeing some of you posting things up online, selling things, discounting things, maybe putting things on like Facebook Marketplace or eBay, whatever the case is. But I could even be doing like a garage sale. But I see that this old version of you, this old structure, because the house can represent the body, is also going through significant change. This is an old relationship that needs to be broken down, maybe rebuilt for some of you, but not all of you. And an old career structure where it just doesn't work for you anymore. And just like they had in those olden times where, you would see this sprawling, bustling place that had all these beautiful buildings, and then years later everything has been broken down and reinvented and gentrification comes through. I feel like that's what's happening in your life. People are not going to recognize the Pisces that you have become because that Pisces is on the move right now. That Pisces is moving away from this, and in a couple of years people are truly not going to recognize the life you live, the way that you look, the stories that you're telling them. They're going to be like, what? Where are you now? No way. I just see this glow up about you, Pisces. This is the end of a really difficult and heavy karmic cycle in your life. And now the abundant timeline is really about to start pressing in and pressing through. First with some towers and things falling apart, of course, but ultimately leading you to that happily ever after. So really excited, Pisces, if you made it this far into the video, leave me a comment and say, I'm ready for my happily ever after. And believe in that dream. You deserve it, and it's on its way to you. All right, my loves, I'll see you again tomorrow with another reading. Hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.